Thank you, James. Richard.
Yes, I think being accountable as far as providing public service assistance goes basically means you become public property. And public property tends to hang an obstacle around one's neck if they are unaccustomed or go into public life without knowing what may occur down the track. And I think that if you have an open mind, that you will be accessible to the public, and also too you will have a certain role and status within the community to provide a certain expectation on how you go about, whether it's your behaviour or whether it's got more to do with what you can or how you can represent people's views. Then I think those two sort of tags go together. As far as accessibility goes, I mentioned it earlier, I think it's imperative that not only should you live in the electorate, but also you should be accessible, and I think you need to have a presence, and that is an office, because that is the first place and port of call that people will go to. They tend to, in my view, not like to go to Parliament House. I think there is that sort of unfriendliness, for want of a better word, and so on. So a presence in the electorate, and also knowing in your own mind that you are no longer Private Joe or Private Mary, that you have to really have certain expectations and standing in the community, because the people will be looking to you as an example, as a role model. And I think it's a very, very difficult task. I think if anybody who espouses to high office, and I mean that in the sense of being a Member of Parliament, then you have to A, be available to them, B, you have to maintain a certain standard, and C, you have to have a physical presence within that electorate. And all three of those are integral and not mutually exclusive.
Thank you, Richard. Sharon.
Yes, I agree completely with what my fellow candidate has just said. I will make myself accessible. Now, if it brings to my mind when I worked as a relief for a position at the University of Tasmania, I always make myself accessible. Even if I'm halfway eating through my lunch, I'll drop it, because I find it, some people just is egoistic because they have the power to make you wait. Even though they're doing nothing, they make you wait 5 minutes just to make themselves feel good. And I think that is simply ridiculous, you know. I am there to serve the public. I was there to serve the international students. Whoever walks in, and the reception will call me and say, "Oh, Sharon, there's somebody here who wants to see you." And I'll just drop whatever I'm doing and straight away say, "Oh, just send her in or send him in." Because I do not like to wait for people, and therefore I do not want people to wait for me. Thank you.
Sure. Peter.
Public servant usually refers to a government worker. Not so. Anyone that does anything for the public is a public servant. Me, being a taxi driver, I cart the public around. So therefore, I'm a public servant. Getting back to the other one, yes, I will be accessible. I will have an office in Pembroke. And if you want to come from anywhere in Tasmania to talk to me, you'll be quite welcome. Because if I know if you're coming to talk to me from Lauderdale, you're not happy with your local member. And that's quite right. But a politician should, just because we're in Pembroke, the member for Pembroke should also be a member for Tasmania. And that's what it's all about. The upper house member can and should have does have a lot of power. A legislative councillor, to me, they are not working hard enough. Now, I think it was in the paper about a month ago, they didn't have enough work in the upper house to do, so they had nothing to do. If that happens to me, I will be out in the arena, out in the public, serving the members of Pembroke and anyone else that wants to come from the outside. You'll be most welcome. Thank you.
I think public service is all about understanding the greater good, and it's all about making decisions in the public interest. It's also about putting yourself in the shoes of the client, in this case the constituent. So that is my definition of public service. I believe that I would serve the public well. I would establish an office at Rosny Park because it's central to most people in Pembroke. But I have been Manager of Advice and Community Education at Legal Aid, and we provided in-person services, telephone advice services, internet-based services. We established services at the courts, the Family Court and the Supreme Court of Tasmania, and we also provided a community legal education program across the state where we went out to the people. So I look forward to being your representative.
Thank you, Wendy. And John.
Thank you. I agree. I think public service is a person that's accessible all the time. I think Peter Cooper, Richard James, myself, as aldermen, we do know that many times we're serving the public by being at council meetings. And I remember many of our birthdays have gone with a council meeting, and it's been sort of over before we've even sort of realised it. So, you know, I intend to be dedicated because birthdays mean very little at my age now. So I'll be there. I've already said in my pamphlet I will certainly have an office on the Eastern Shore. Also, I'd like to just thank Alison Ritchie too, because, and I know Bernie, you've had a hand in that as well, but Alison taught me, even though I've been an alderman for quite some time, how to work the community. She did it extremely well. And Alison did have a very good personal vote because she did work extremely hard. And if elected, I intend to continue in her work ethic in Pembroke.
Thank you, John. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take one last question from the lady here who's waited very patiently, and then we'll close off, and I'm sure that our candidates will join you at the beautiful bar of the Beltana Bowls Club. But Matt, please.
Stringing as it does, Pembroke along the Eastern Shore, I see it as having two essential exits or entrances, which are the Bowen Bridge and the Tasman Bridge. But they don't seem to work in a coordinated way. Would the members here push for whatever infrastructure is necessary to, I mean, we all believe the bridge won't fall down, but it did, didn't it? And you would have to get by with the Bowen Bridge. But there is a kilometre or so of road which would create the most enormous traffic jams. Are people aware of it?
James.
I'd like Mr. Cooper to answer.
Well, we'll get all the candidates to answer that question if that's all right.
No, I'm happy for Mr. Cooper to answer first.